The Case IH 2160 Early Riser Planter from Custom Modding is finally here. However, I'm not sure you want to download this mod. Not yet anyway. The planter is currently in early access. You're able to download it via Custom Modding's Patreon, and it is for free. So you can just log in and get it for yourself, as long as you're on PC. Console players will have to wait. If you do head over to their Patreon, you may notice that there's a lot of people talking about the mod, saying that there's quite a few issues with it. And unfortunately, they would be correct. I've got two goals here. One, I want to make sure that you're aware of the things that are still an issue currently, but I also want to show you the planter. Let's check it out and see what it's supposed to be at the end of the day. It still works. There's just a few things that are up with it. It's just not ready yet. Which leads me to number one. Custom Modding have said that it should take between 10 and 15 days before the crossplay version is going to be released. However, it's going to take more time than that, I think, just to get this fixed up. I'm just trying to be realistic here. A couple other things. You may notice that it is sliding around, a little bit of movement here and there. Currently in its folded up state right here. It's not really going to go anywhere, but it really wants to. Even on the version behind the tractor with tracks on the back, it is wanting to get going. If you are activating your GPS and you're sitting still, the tractor will actively try to turn to prevent it from moving. So this is an issue. Custom Modding are actually aware of all of these. But again, it's out publicly, so I want to make sure that you're aware. Another one is with the steerable axle in the back. Custom Modding have said that there's no option for rear steering. However, it is listed in the mod description as well as, well, it's there. And it's also on the tracked version. So it may not be a customization option, but it is in the mod description and on the mod itself. It's just not working. When you're heading out into the field to get some work done, this is the raised unit. This is as high as it goes. Actually, there is a bit up here in the front which I can adjust, which helps depending on what kind of tractor you're on. However, with this one at least, it sticks it into the ground. So that's why that customization option's there. However, in lowered state, it is in the ground. So just be aware of that. There's also no refilling from pallets currently. If we take a look at the machine itself on the top, we should be able to open these bad boys, and at least on the version up there, there's also an extra liquid tank. However, they do not open, and the machine does not refill from any external sources. So in order to use it, you will need to cheat seeds and liquid fertilizer in. Fortunately, currently it is still on PC, so I mean, it's pretty easy to do. Just go into your Power Tools mod, or you can go into Easy Dev and you can load stuff in that way. We've also got some conflicting specifications. For example, it says 280 horsepower in the game. However, 380 horsepower is advertised. I'm not really quite sure which one is the right answer there. It's advertised as an 8 mile per hour max working speed in the game. However, 10 miles per hour was advertised, and the actual is 9, so it's kind of halfway in between. In the game, it says it's got an 18.3 meter working width. However, it's been advertised as 27.4. 27.4 is the correct number here. Capacities are another one. For example, seeds. It's advertised with 4,200 liters of seed. However, in actuality, it's 3,523 liters. The in-game number is correct there, as well as the liquid fertilizer tank right here in the front, as advertised as 2,270 liters. However, actually get 3,028 liters in the game. Unfortunately, that is about everything I've been able to find. I've actually had my hands on this planter now for a couple weeks, and there's some other things that I had to report it. However, Custom Modding is doing a really good job of getting things fixed up. I do think it was released a little bit too early to the public. Probably another couple weeks would have done well, but hey, at least it's in the hands of players and they get to try it out. And it still works in the field. So then let's load her up and let's take a look at some of the customization options. One thing that's still irritating for me is the camera's based around the back of the planter, so yeah, half the customization options are in the front, which makes it difficult. Nonetheless, let's take a look at our wheel setup. This will be around towards the back. We have the Lizard Destination Farm wheels, so we get 4 big wheels back there, or you you can throw on some tracks. We do have some clipping issues right here in the front. However, once you get it out into the field, that clipping issue is not there, which is a good thing. So you can either go with the S-Tech 012Ps or this destination farm wheels. We'll just leave it here for now. We do have dealer decals. Now these are around way at the front. We may even not be able to see those here. We can see them just fine. Right there, Titan on the left-hand side. Oh, here we go. We're starting to move. It does happen. Taking a look at our wing options, we have either stock or ridge markers. It is going to add a pretty significant amount of weight, about 1.2 tons on there. So be ready for that, but it is nice to have those ridge markers if you are not a GPS fanboy like me. And a couple of these are just going to be visual. It's kind of nice that the machine's moving back. It fits it into the screen now. We do have the hydraulic cooler. This is just purely a visual customization option. It's not going to do anything. Numbers. So the numbers are on there. However, I don't actually think we could see them in the customization options because they are round towards the front. We might be able to see... No, we can't see them here, but I'll show them to you in the game. We also have the bulk fill scales. These have been around for a little while now with custom modding mods. They look great, they work, it's pretty nice. Then we have hoppers and or tanks. So bulk fill is just going to be seeds and seeds only. Then we can bump that up with a liquid fertilizer tank along towards the front. Then we have the liquid fertilizer tank extension. This is going to add even more. So we go up from 5,037 total literage up to 65. So there you can see we're adding about 1,500 extra liters of liquid fertilizer there. I don't actually know what this does, but it does look like it goes out to the row units maybe a little bit more efficiently, so holds a little bit more maybe in the system. Then lastly, we have the smart box, which are going to be added around towards the edges, and that's going to bring everything in. And also, this makes folding and unfolding the machine super fast, not slow. Usually it's pretty slow. We'll show you both. If you decide to fully customize this, you're going to go from 310,000 up to 411,000. Almost. It's over $100,000 add-ons for everything. But, I mean, it's pretty freaking sweet. So now that you've seen the customization options and things like that, you know that, this one, for example, this is fully stock. And if we take a look at this one over here, we can see that this has every single option available. Since we already know that loading is an issue and there's a few other problems as well, from here, I'm just gonna skip those things because, well, frankly, we don't need to just hammer the issues out. So we got this bad boy. Let's unfold the version that is fully stocked out. What it does is it lowers down this piece in the front and then just simply unfolds from there. No issues. As we mentioned, the clipping issues are not there when it comes to the tracks. I think maybe this little row unit back here will cause some problems, but I don't think there's any issues. Wheels do flip around. The end is on kind of a hinge there, so it is going to be a little bit weird, but otherwise, don't worry about it too much. Then for this tractor, I will adjust there, and we are good. If you need to use ridge markers, ba-boom, look at that. Goodness gracious. We'll flop the other one out just like so, and we can bring them all back in. These things are insane, man. And at least right now, those are the only animations that you're going to have. You got your ridge markers, and then we've got our piece in the front, which can adjust the height. I imagine eventually we're also going to have animations for the boxes and the tank and everything like that, but unfortunately, that is it for now. Kidding. There is one thing. I've totally forgot about these little guys, but if I can get them in the camera, down at the bottom left-hand corner, we can actually raise and lower these little units right here. Don't know what they're called, but it is very, very cool. I think it's neat. Yeah. As I mentioned, once you drop it down, everything goes a little bit too far. However, it just kind of is what it is. It is a direct drill, so once we get out here, once we turn it on, there you go. At the end of the day, it is a planter, so it is going to be planting planter things. Let's turn some lights on so you can kind of get some shine and see what's up. Of course, everything moves around. Everything is moving independently as well. There is a lot of dirt coming out the back. I wonder if I can go a little bit slower. Just as much dirt almost. Still can't see through it. However, super, super realistic animation there. I love it. I love it. There's so many moving parts. It's just insane how they were able to make all of that work together. When it comes to maneuverability, I will hand it to it. I know we don't have any turning axles in the back. Doesn't matter if you're in the field or on the road, they do not move. But I'll tell you this much. It does handle pretty darn well. Once those rear axles have been fixed and you are able to have them steer, that's going to open up a whole different world. However, right now, it handles just about as good as a John Deere planter, which ain't saying much. Let's take a look. Do we have any clipping issues with the tracks and a little row unit there? No. So that is fixed, at least in the game. Customization option still there. But yeah, because the rear doesn't turn, there's your turning radius. It's not terrible, but you know, it's worth mentioning. So you've got to see the fully stacked version. Let's drop it off, and we're gonna pick up the version with no options and see what's different. The first thing you may notice is there is no fertilizer in this one. This is only seeds. So there is that. We still have stationary rear wheels. We are able to move a few things. However, we are going to need to unfold first with the addition of these little guys in here. They still move up and down. You can still move them, which I think is kind of cool. Currently, I think the wheeled version drives the best. The tracks are a little bit much, I think, right now. This is your big difference here. If you're not using those row units, you're going to have to wait for all of these to unfold. Every single one of them. All 36 rows. Oof, that's a lot. Once they do unfold, though, we go into the normal animation, which we saw from the other one. Wheels are coming out. And now the machine starts to come forward a little bit. That's because this bar in the center will kind of go inside of itself like that so that you don't have anything crazy going on. Pretty normal. The wheels turn around, lower in a little bit, and everybody is good. Now, this is why I was saying that the wheeled version seems to drive a little bit better. As you can see, at least with the no tracks, this bit in the front that I have to adjust, this is what it looks like without any adjustment. It's perfect for this machine. If I adjust again, it makes it even better. So we're adjusting a few little bits and bobs, but for this one, looks great. Is there anything else that we could do? No, those are the only two animations. And again, as I mentioned, we're not able to fill up with any seeds, so I'm going to toggle super strength. Get out of here, fill units. Here we go. Seeds, perfect. Because we have the direct drill, let's drop down. And oh my, it is hidden in the ground. Maybe we do want to adjust the drill bar in the front. There we go, and we will turn it on and get the party started. From here, everything's exactly the same as the other version, so you really don't have to worry a whole lot. Let's jump around, kind of take a look at everything. That is a very, very loud sound. Goodness. Let's turn that off for a minute, just to kind of look through here. I mean, looking good. I think it's really neat how they've been able to get all of the parts being moving, things like that. We talked about that already, but I'm a big fan of custom modding mods. This one, just a bit of an outlier, I will say that. However, these days, things are changing, and modders are releasing things earlier and earlier for either Patreons or on their sites, itch sites, stuff like that. And to be fair, a lot of that is so that people like you can get your hands on it a little bit earlier. I think it stinks a little bit because it makes players feel like they are a tester rather than a player. And I'm not quite sure if that seems fair or not, but however, I guess no one's forcing you to download the mod. Regardless, there you go. Oh yeah, the number. Forgot to show you the number. Ooh, he's moving around. So the number is way up there. Right there. Yes, that is an 18. Goodness gracious. Whew, I think K-Bot got a hold of this one. And there you go. That's everything I've got for you on this one. If you guys do want to download this, I will leave a link to Custom Modding's Patreon down below if you want to check that out. I'll also leave a link to their fan page where they've also posted a few links as well. To stay updated with the latest information on this one, stay tuned to Farm Sim News every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you got any questions, let me know. If you think there was anything I missed, hey, let me know as well. Hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll catch you in the next one.